your socks hang up. You're getting in the pants.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't have the muscle to hold my feet rigid, so they get twisted up in there and they'll get locked sideways.
A big mess.
It's a big mess. You know why it takes 7.5 minutes, but but it's been a life changer.
Right? You're like, oh my God, how did I not realize that?
Exactly. So, all right, moving on. Disability in pop culture. Which movies or TV shows nailed it, and which ones made you cringe?
Nailed it. Huh.
No.
Well, the movie we watched.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Movie, what was Out of My Mind, or was that what it was called?
I think Out of My Mind, yeah. Yeah,
was probably the best one that I've seen, like in the modern times, quite a bit, because it was so genuine. Like it is things, because we've had so many interactions with all different people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't feel like a fake version of what society thinks that disability is.
Right. And that's, so many times that's what it is. It's just, you can't put your finger on it, but it's like, okay, that's not nothing, nobody I've ever experienced, Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the common, like, who did you encyclopedia guess to try to be that?
Did you ever see the movie, There's Something About Mary?
Yes.
And again, everybody's different, but, when the guy or her friend who's on crutches and he drops his keys.
Oh, yeah.
It was hilarious for a whole bit, but I was pretty much in his situation. And,
right.
I could reach down and get a pair of keys in 2 seconds. I don't, I don't know what the hell was that. But then you find out later that he wasn't actually.
Yeah. Because you can't figure out.
The funny thing too was, for whatever reason, I saw that movie twice in a theater.
Oh, you really liked it.
I don't know. I don't think that was necessarily it. But just, I saw it with somebody and then I saw it with somebody else. And I can't remember so long ago.
You had to pretend like you hadn't.
But it was interesting that scene in and of itself, the first time I watched it, I don't know why, but I don't know if people were nervous to laugh at that. Nobody laughed at that.
Yeah.
And then the next time I watched it, whatever it was with that audience, they thought that was funny and everybody just laughed.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, a really good movie too that I just thought about was, and this was old, What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp. That was tremendous. And that was because I think I had heard that Leonardo DiCaprio did a lot of study and went to group homes and really intensely learned, what it was to be that kind of different. And that was tremendous because
I was shocked to find out that wasn't, I don't think I'd ever seen him in anything. I just assumed he was a disabled actor.
Yeah. No, that was well.
Yeah, did a great job. All right, here, let's see what else. Did they just say that? The wildest or weirdest things people have said to you about your disability? Oh, yikes. Might have to do a two-parter.
You go first.
Where do I start? I think I've said here, and I don't know, I've said it many, many times to people I know. If people my whole life have had questions, and you know when it's coming because they say, "Can I ask you a question?" And there's just a way about they say,
"Here we go."
I know it's coming, and I am fine. When you ask me respectfully, I'll answer anything. And just before I get into some of the not so fun, I remember as a kid because I grew up with hearing, "Hey, mommy, what's wrong with that boy?"
Yeah.
And then around probably 13 years old, I started to hear, Mommy, what's wrong with that man?
Yeah.
And as a 12, 13-year-old, did you hear that? I'm a man.
Right? You're like,
Don't you forget it. I'm a man.
I've been promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Oh, man. I don't know. Probably the one I love to tell, and it's just, there was this guy gets on the elevator. I get on the elevator. He gets on the elevator. Just the two of us. And you know how it is in the elevator. There's just this kind of awkward silence a lot of time. And so I'm not really paying attention to him. But all of a sudden, out of this silence, I hear, "What happened to you?"
Right.
Yeah. And so he broke my rule. He didn't ask politely. He didn't say, wasn't being generous there in the way he asked. So I don't know. I slept like crap last night. I don't know. And then there's kind of this silence, and he goes, no, and he goes, and he does his finger up and down me. No, this. You know what? I don't remember what I said after that. I don't know if it was nice.
Yeah, I would have been like at a loss for my good quips.
Yeah, really, that's what you got. Yeah, but we'd go out to and my brother tried to prepare me because he started using the chair years before I did. So as I was using it more and more, he kind of he warned me, I guess would be the word. But he said, people are going to act differently towards you, and I'm like, no, just one disability is the same as the next, right? What's the difference between me walking on crutches and, they're both very visible, all that. He wasn't wrong. He talked to me about, the waitress coming up to the table and asking for the order. And then they turn to your dinner mates, what's he going to have?
Oh my God.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. So sure enough. And there would be times when I would be waiting in line, to pay for something and get up to the counter. Person after person is getting up there. I finally get to the front of the line. That person is getting their transaction done. They get done. And the gal looks right over my head and said, next to the person behind me. And, and thank goodness, there's people out there like, well, he was here.
He's next.
Yeah. Just, and it's like, wow, really? Yeah. People do that. And then out at the track, because we live near the Speedway in Southern California Speedway. And so we go out there, every race, and they have a very nice system of golf carts to help you get around. Right. So, man, so many times we'd get on there, and what we would do is I could transfer into the passenger seat of the golf cart, and then my buddy would take my wheelchair, get on the back seat, and just hold the wheelchair. And away we go, Yeah. So we do that. And one time we were sitting there and we're not moving, and the guy driving looks over his shoulder. I could tell he wasn't talking to me. He looks over his shoulder and goes, I don't read minds. And I look at him from the passenger seat and I go, I can talk. You don't need to address him.
I can't read minds, and I speak. Ha ha. Yeah. Oh, and then coming through security, the people are always asking my buddy, can I check his backpack? And my buddy was great. He's like, hell if I know, ask him. Yeah.
Or he would even go the extra mile and go, I don't know that asshole. Like he didn't even know me. Why are you talking to me?
You'll have to ask somebody else. Yeah.
Or we'd roll up to the cart and the guy would say, can he transfer? Can he transfer? Not like, can you transfer? Again, asking my buddy. It's like,
you're like, can you transfer what? Money?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
What would you like him to transfer? Yeah.
Like my buddy Forrest will say, I say all the time, do better.
Yeah.
Do better. All right.
I mean, I think I'm similar to you, that it's always like experiences of people assuming that there's some sort of deficit. And so they just either skip you, or even, this sounds horrible, but like going to Disneyland with my sister. I love Disneyland, but like ordering food, they do the same that they do with like Forrest with you. They'll go, what would she like? Or they'll talk like I'm deaf, like so loud at my face. And I'm like, well, you don't need to talk so loud because they're not all connected.
Now,
I understand that they're trying to be inclusive, but it's like such an awkward inclusivity that I'm like, okay.
So if we were to give people advice here, what would it be? Would it be to err on the side of caution? To ask me if I can transfer, or ask you
I think I would
what you want.
And then with the person in front of you. And then if you're not getting a response or you need additional information, then
go from there. Right?
Reach out. Start with the one.
Yeah.
that you need the information from. And if they don't answer you, there's probably a reason they're not answering.
Yeah.
And then,
or probably somebody would have already started to order for you when they were ordering, if that was necessary. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I had an experience the other, and it just popped into my head, because when I go to a restaurant, I ask for a table for, our party. And I'm always kind of surprised that,